Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous at all.
Ain't nothing to be nervous
Nothing
about.
to be
It's
nervous
just
about.
questions.
Yeah. Hey, listeners, we back with another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. I got my good friend Ken in the building. How you feeling this week, brother?
Feeling good, feeling great. It's Black History Month, so represent. We out here.
Mm-hmm.
I love my people.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Merry Black History Month. We also have two very special guests in the building today. I got Michelle and Lena here with us from the Spiritual Sistars podcast. How y'all feeling today?
We're doing well.
Doing well.
We good.
Doing good.
Great.
That's what's up. And, hey,
Feel it.
Yeah, we good.
And y'all see the title on the screen. We're here to have a conversation, kind of build today about why Black women don't feel protected. We're gonna get to the bottom of this today. So let me start off by asking Michelle and Lena, do y'all as Black women feel protected?
You ready for me to go? So I answered in two parts. So for myself, I would hope that I surround myself with men that would protect me, but I haven't been put in a situation to where I would need that. But as a whole, I would have to say no, because it's so much. Black women are judged so harshly, and I think our Black men contribute to that. So I would have to say no.
Lena, same question for you, Lena.
I have to agree with Michelle. Like in my immediate circle, I'm protected, but overall, as a general, it's a lot of us versus them. It's a lot of expectations on the Black woman that not necessarily is expected, or the standards for Black men aren't the same as Black women. So, no.
Okay, so neither one of y'all feel protected. So my next question would be in the aspect of protection. Who don't you feel protected by, like in like your workplace? Because y'all both said it, y'all kind of in y'all immediate circle, y'all try to surround yourself with Black men who will protect y'all. So like, can you answer? Can you go a little bit deeper? Like, is it like a workplace environment? Is it like a overall societal environment?
It would be overall societal for me, because me personally, like I said, I would surround myself with, that would include the workplace. So if it's a Black man at the workplace, I would feel like protected. But overall, as a Black woman in the Black community, no.
Right.
Okay.
There's two different answers. So me personally, I would hope that I, make good judgment, and the Black men that are around me would.
Y'all broke up a little bit. I lost you. Can you go say what you just said again?
If I needed it, but I don't even know if they would.
Michelle, you got to start over.
Answers.
You froze. The last thing I heard was you say you surround yourself.
Yeah.
What was the last part you heard?
You say you surround yourself with Black men who will protect you, and then you froze up. So.
I said, like you were saying, in the workplace, I would hope that if I needed protecting, I work with a couple of Black men, so I think they would be okay. But as a whole, as a Black woman in society as a whole, no.
Right.
So that would be, like protected by men that I know. But if I was out somewhere, or a random Black man that I needed protection at that point, I feel no.
Right.
That's unfortunate.
What does protection look like to you from a perspective of a man protecting a woman?
Just, having our back, like out loud, speaking up for us when we're not around. It's not, I don't think it would be physical in a sense, just.
Right. Like, come to save the day. Right. Okay.
Right. And for me, the main thing I look for is stability and consistency, listening to us, remaining teachable, keeping us from harm, and just standing up for us, and not, you can lead, but don't expect me to, like, I'm going to be by your side. Like, I'm your equal. I'm not behind you or beneath you.
Okay.
Treat me as your equal. That's how protection look for me.
So it would be personal in a sense.
That's what I was about to say. Is that sounds a little bit personal from like is that a relationship standpoint, or is that from?
Yeah. Relationships, friendships, Acquaintanceships.
I mean, well, I have bad judgment in relationships, obviously. So I would hope that. I mean, overall in the community, no, I just don't feel like if I was out in public and I got into a situation, a random black man he would probably keep, mind his business and keep walking.
Mm. Yeah, that's crazy because I ain't like that. I'm at least asking somebody good. That's crazy. That you feel that way. But I guess
Well,
go ahead.
It might be like you said. It might be like this. Also, like the different circles or whatever, or like what your experience is. Because like myself personally, so and I'll just speak from a work perspective. So I've been with a company for 14 years, and I currently work in a security field, cybersecurity, and there's several times. I mean, in IT is racist in itself, and demographics for Black women is trash. So for myself, there's I'm in advocacy groups. There's one called Advocates for Women in Tech. I've spoken up, when a Black woman has an idea and then somebody else says the same thing, and then they act like it was the dude's idea instead of hers. So I think it kind of has to do with the type of people, because myself, now that I live here in Georgia, I see a lot of that every day, just because now I actually work with Black people versus when I was where I was at previously. I didn't really see that, see the color, if you will. So I think sometimes you're right. I mean, I have seen obviously where men will turn a blind eye or be like, fuck it, I don't even care, that's their business, not mine. I ain't snitching, which is also detrimental to the Black community as a whole in certain cases.
Right.
But I think it has a lot to do with those circles, and also keeping it real, identity. I think a lot of Black people don't have an identity. We like to subscribe. I'm generalizing and saying all, because I don't think it's as large as we like to make it. But I think a lot of it has to do with not being proud of who you are as a result of what we see on television, the depiction of Black women, the welfare queen, this and that, even though, overwhelmingly y'all have college degrees. Same thing with white women. They overwhelmingly have more college degrees than white men. It's just women are changing now because of what has been happening in the past. So I think it has to do with a lot of that in terms of the scope. And I think going forward, I personally believe things will get better with that. But that's just my optimism from where I'm coming from.
So as Black men, do y'all think a woman would speak up for y'all if y'all needed to be protected?
You want to go first, host?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I've had Black women speak up to me in the work in a lot of cases in work environment, back in school. I've had Black women stand up and advocate for me in several instances. So I've never felt like I need I didn't have that. You know what I mean? But I also make myself available to them as well. Black women I've worked with in workplaces, school environments, and in my personal life, I make myself available to them as well. And I don't think a lot of men tend to do that. To y'all points earlier when y'all were saying that a man would just kind of like disappear. If I see another Black person and just out and about in public, I'm always gonna make it a point to speak. Woman, man, or a child, you know what I mean? I'm making a point to let them know that, hey, I acknowledge you. So if I see them I might even start a small talk conversation with them. So if I see them later going through something, like you said, Michelle, if you got into an incident, I'm letting them know that, hey, I'm available for you. You know what I mean?
Okay. What about you, Kendall?
Yes, me personally, I've had several instances where I felt like I was protected. I grew up with a lot of women in my life. I have 6 aunts on my mom's side. I got 2 sisters. I don't have any brothers other than the brother you see on here and a few other brothers that I have growing up with. But I've never had of course you have issues with girls, or you got little girlfriend problems or something like that. But as far as like protection, I've never really been in a situation where I didn't feel like that. There have been situations where somebody might kind of step to the side and let me kind of take it, so they don't want to get involved, because, some people don't like confrontation. I'm a let's argue kind of person, but I think that the protection is definitely there for myself. I haven't really had interactions with Black women, maybe 1 or 2 where I was just like, man, you really feel that way? But no, I've relatively been fine in that era. I mean, in that context.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna backdoor with another question.
Okay.
Why do y'all think the answers differ so much? Where do you think the breakdown is? Because we were like, no, y'all immediately said yes, y'all feel protected by Black women.
Well, again, for myself, I think a lot of it has to do with again, identity. I think a lot of young men grow up thinking that they don't need to protect women because sometimes, and I'm not going to keep saying a lot because I would need to pull up numbers, but I've just my personal, I've seen where men take a back seat because they've possibly a single family household, don't necessarily get to see what it looks like to protect women. Nor do they get the opportunity. I lived in a very dominant female household, and there was very few times where I was able to protect. The only time I was able to do that is when I said something blatant, like, "You gonna let him treat you like that? You gonna let him just do?" Then it's like, "Oh shit, Kendall woke me up." You know what I mean? So a lot of times, I think in my experience, I've seen where women kind of take over, and then the men, young men, as they grow, they don't really get the opportunity to understand what protection looks like. Women have whether it's good or bad. Generally, the woman is if there's a single family dynamic, women are generally in the household. I don't look at the myth of Black dads ain't shit and all this, because if you look at the statistics, more Black fathers are in their children's lives than any other race in this country. CNN just actually had an article on that. But at the same time, when there is a single family dynamic, I'm not blaming Black women or nothing like that, but when there is a single family dynamic, sometimes because Black women have been being the protectors for a while in that situation, young men don't necessarily get that opportunity or know how, and then they get they grow up into that, and then now it's like, well, shit, just take care of me. And sometimes, unfortunately, women do that instead of saying, nah, like, you need to A, B, and C. So I think that's kind of why. I'm not excusing it, but I think that's kind of where that comes from.
Mm-hmm. And I think,
what about you, Ron?
I think another reason why the answers differ so much for us is because, we all 80s babies here. We grew up in the era where
the age.
All right,
hilarious.
Right,
that's
hilarious.
Right. We ain't supposed to do that.
Right.
That's
We
right.
You're right.
These are 2000s babies, y'all.
Yeah.
We the 80s.
Right. Yeah, y'all 2000 baby. We the 80s baby. But I think we grew up largely in the era where there was a lack of a Black male present in the household, and a lot of Black women had to walk in a masculine energy. So women that were older than me that I was speaking to that protect me, it normally is an older Black woman. Very seldom has it been a peer. I've had a peer, come kind of help me in certain situations before, but for the most part, it's an older Black woman, like that mother figure on a job, or that older Black teacher who was saying, "Oh, you're not gonna treat Jerome like that, or you're not going to do X, Y, and Z to him." If they see somebody talking to you crazy, whether it's a supervisor, another teacher, or whatever, they come handle that situation for me. So I think that's why it differs so much, just having that older group, because like I said, even if you look to the civil rights movement in the 60s, it was largely women led. So like I said, it was a lot of the women walking in that masculine energy. So I think that's why the answers differ so much.
Same thing with the Black Panther Party. There was a lot of women in the Black Panther Party, and it was still misogynistic to an extent, but women still had positions of power, and even in those contexts, it wasn't just, "Hey, go sit in the corner and serve dinner or serve breakfast for the food program." So, I think it's just in context in certain engages, but I can let you continue. My bad. Oh, we're supposed to ask a question.
Yeah, we definitely was. You got the next one, Kendall.
Okay. No, I think I asked mine. You go ahead. You want me to just, okay, I'll do it. So I guess in that same vein, just to kind of what we talked about with the dynamic of what I was thinking with the parental situation and young boys not necessarily knowing, how or when. Do you think there's like an age appropriate time frame to teach young boys or men about protection? Not saying it falls on the woman, but I'm just saying, is there like a time, like, is it coming out the gate 3 years old? Like, hey, you need to be protecting women. This is what you need to be doing. Not like militant, but I'm just generalizing. But what would you say? Because I'm curious to know that.
So I think once they develop the comprehension skills to understand it, but I don't think it's a certain age. I think it has to be set by example. So we mimic behavior, so it would have to be something that they would have to be shown from their dad. So I do think it is on the dad.
Right,
okay.
Right. And as far like I don't have sons, so I had to I had to reach out to my homegirl who has 3 boys, and she was like, I told them at a young age, that they are not to put their hands on a little girl. That they are to be providers and they are to be the protective person or whatever. She is a single parent, because her loved one passed away or whatever. So, she has to be mom and dad. So she teaches her boys very early. And they have a lot of positive male role models in their lives. Like they were Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, Cub Scouts, whatever the Scouts is. And so they had like, they played sports and stuff like that. So they have positive male role models in their lives to give them that example so that they can be good men in society.
Yeah, I think that's something that's taught. I don't, but I think it's by example. So it wouldn't be anything that you would tell them. I think it would just be from observation.
Gotcha.
So whenever they get comprehended.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Kendall. Was you about to say something?
No, I was just listening. No, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. I know largely this month we've been talking about culture, and I think all of this kind of leans back into us having a culture as Black people, because culture insulates you. You know what I mean? And we don't really cultivate culture like we should in our communities, and that's what I'm trying to get us to do with this platform. And that's why we had these cultural discussions, because I think it's very important, like y'all said, for a man to be an example on as far as teaching that young son to say, hey, here, protect this, this young lady. Like I said, I have a son and a daughter, and they damn near inseparable. You know what I mean? I'm the middle child, but I have 2 younger sisters, and y'all know we damn near inseparable. You know what I mean? I've always had a certain level of respect for women, especially Black women, because I've had younger siblings and stuff like that. Plus, my dad always said, "Don't let nothing happen to your sister." You know what I mean? He used to scare the shit out of me. That's your little sister. So you take care of her. Don't let nothing happen to him. You know what I mean? That's kind of always been the culture in our family. Is that we always gonna look out for the women in our family. So. Michelle, you killing that mimosa over there. I know.
Right.
Our audience couldn't see you. I was waiting on you to respond, and you was just killing it. But go ahead, you good though.
Oh, okay. So y'all ready for us to give y'all some questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think it was like 2 episodes ago we did an episode on toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we've all been in something that's been toxic. So oftentimes we talk about relationships between Black men and Black women being toxic. Like that's a word that everybody learned, narcissist and toxic. So as a Black man, what do you think the disconnect is between Black men and Black women to where the relationships turn toxic?
You want me to go, Kendall? All right, yeah. But like I said, back again to culture. I think a lot of men grow up in misogynistic culture. You know what I mean? A lot of Black men, especially. You listen to the rap music. Listen, look to young men and they friend groups. You know what I'm saying? My friends were some of the most toxic men growing up. You know what I mean? We had to kind of unlearn that trauma and kind of evolve. You know, so to speak. So I think that's where a lot of it stems from, and a lot of the toxicity in our environment. Society just doesn't really teach us to value family and or any of that. You know what I mean? It teaches us to be players, and even young ladies, so to speak, is kind of a flip now, where these young ladies are kind of hot girl summer and all that type of stuff like that. So I'm just listen. I said what's that?
I'm in these streets.
Yeah, they in the street. I'm saying, but just listen to the like.
I'm scheduled for a hot girl summer this summer.
All right, but not a hot girl summer.
Hilarious.
Right, but
as you should.
Right, but that's what I mean about that's what I mean about the culture. Yeah.
I'm for real.
Mm-hmm. Did y'all have y'all hot girl summer last summer? Y'all supposed to be setting examples. Y'all supposed to be setting examples.
The COVID, we was indoors, so they got postponed to this summer.
Well, my form, like with the toxicity thing, I think what it also is in some cases, a lot of, men are way more sensitive than they like to lead on because again, black men, we just have to be strong and be okay with going to jail or being shot or dealing with this or that, or we just got to go ahead and turn over and we still got to go to work the next day. But I think it has a lot to do with just kind of going through the motions. Sometimes you might have I've dated, once before where, she would just do anything in front of her, not like sexually or nothing like that, but just do anything in front of her child. Like there was no like
boundaries.
like I'm not having no man over here while my kid is up. Like I literally was like, hey, I'm not coming to your house until your baby's asleep. Like I'm not like if we're not setting those standards of, hey, this is what we're doing, this is we're gonna be together. I'm not doing all of that because that's how I grew up. You know what I mean? My mom didn't have a whole bunch of men just coming in and out the crib. And then now I got this depiction of all women are hoes because this is again while they get emotional. So like, or you get hurt by somebody that you really cared about, and now you got, oh man, I'm done with these women. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I think it has to do sometimes with emotions, and a lot of times, my perspective, men don't get those time frames to learn about their emotions. They're sometimes getting that from somebody else who might not be as emotionally intact as they should, and then they grow into that. And now, I like I make fun of this, but I like to call these grandma niggas. Sit around, you grow up around your grandma all day, and then you start developing these qualities of irrational emotions, and you don't never know how to compartmentalize and just sit back and see things for what they are. So I think it has somewhat to do with that as well. That's just my perspective on it. Mm-hmm. I'm not blaming anybody for it, but I just think that's some of those things like the therapy and all of that is very important, especially for young black males, especially black therapy. Not just we gonna go send you to this therapist and go talk to Billy Bob because he ain't gonna help you. You need to go find, we come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ain't a lot of black therapists there, so it's gonna be hell to pay in Milwaukee. And I think that's a lot of that with black men. There's just no outlet sometimes, especially if you don't have that father figure or father or uncle, whatever, mm-hmm. or dad might be toxic. So then I'm getting bad information from him. Or I grew up in an abusive relationship seeing mom get cold cocked, even though I know that shit is wrong, Chris Brown. I'm still going to maybe go upside the head. So these types of things happen.
Yeah, but to your point, Kendall, not only is there not many outlets for us to be emotional or to, like I said, be in tune with our emotions. It's not a lot of safe spaces because like
not at all.
Because like I said, if you be around your homeboys and you getting emotional or you want to have a conversation and build, like, man, I'm going through something, they gonna look at you like, man, nigga, you going through, you know what I mean? Like they gonna clown you
or even worse, your girl. Because your girl sometimes can't deal with all your emotions. Like, baby, all right, well, I'm tired of you crying. It's been 3 straight days.
That's what,
nigga, get it together.
That's what I meant by safe spaces.
Yes, I'm not saying all women. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that there are. I saw y'all face. Y'all was like, so I saw your face.
We gonna cry together.
Right.
Hold on.
That's a woman that's emotionally available though. But there are some that don't. They'll do the first couple times, but all right now, nigga, I'm dealing with some shit, so I need you to console me. Like, hey, get up out of here with all them emotions.
Yeah, we cut them off. You said we gonna cry together. Is that what y'all said?
Yeah, so she said.
Yeah. Do y'all think it's like generational curses? So like it stems from that behavior, the toxicity stem from like in the slavery and it was passed down. I think that's where it come from.
Some of it, yeah. Like like we talk about, oh man, I want what grandma and granddad had. Well, if we really peel back the onion, grandma was probably getting cold cocked, right? Let's just keep it real because he was, huh?
Not my big mama.
No. Like I said, we're not talking about y'all directly. I'm just saying, I know some big mamas that was toe up because he was dealing with what he at the job, dealing with racism, dealing with discrimination, dealing with nigger do this or that. Mm-hmm. Coming from a sharecropper family, moving out from the South, coming up to the North. I'm talking, certain people moving through the ranks, trying to find some opportunity for your family. But you're still toxic throughout that whole situation. So y'all want what grandma and granddaddy had, but you got to take it off. So
right, and I think a lot of that was hidden in our families.
Yeah. And it's always hidden. That's right.
Right.
That's another problem in our community. We don't like to talk about the bullshit. We like to just No, we like to just, oh well, that's just how he is. That's just how Uncle is. Nah, let's just talk about Uncle's a pedophile, and we need to go ahead and call him out and
Right.
stop the bullshit. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went into a tangent. Let's get back to the
Oh,
actual.
we
But,
always get off topic.
I'm sorry, Jerome. I'm just saying though, it gets dicey.
No, I just was trying to figure out if they had anything to add to it because we can't talk as loud when they talking because we cut them off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I'm loud. Let me sorry. Go ahead, ladies.
Because it's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just our microphones. It's not that big a deal. But y'all can go ahead. We good. Did y'all have anything to add to any of that we said? Just so
I didn't. I did. I added.
Oh, y'all just letting us get our shit off today, now. So like I know we did touch on this a little bit earlier, but do y'all in particular teach y'all children to respect black men and black male authority?
Why black male authority though? That wasn't what you text. That ain't what the question said.
I said or black male authority, black men.
I teach my daughter to respect people individually, like in general.
Mm-hmm.
I, however, haven't put emphasis on respecting black men. I feel like that is her father's job.
Okay.
I feel her relationship with him will develop her opinion about black men. So that's on him.
Her relationship with her father hold on one second. Say that one more time. You said her relationship with her father will.
That's going to develop her opinion about black men.
Okay.
So I feel like that's his job. I can't. I could tell her, but I can't give her examples. So again, we learn by repetition, by seeing. So I feel like that would be something that he would have to show her. It wouldn't be. That's not my job. But I teach her to respect people individually if they're respecting her.
Right.
You gotta answer.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was waiting on Lena. Go ahead.
So as far as teaching my children or my girls to respect men, I just teach them to respect people. And respect is something that's earned and not necessarily just outright, you're going to respect me because of who I am and what my title is. No, you have to earn a person's respect. And so, I teach them to respect people. Mm-hmm. So yes, I teach them to respect black men, but not because of their title or their authority or power or
race
or
ethnicity
or race.
I feel like once I get a husband, then I can give her an example of how to respect a black man if my husband is black.
Mm-hmm. He better be, especially.
I'm just joking. But,
I know.
It's okay.
So it would have to come from example, and I feel like not to say gender roles, but I feel like each parent has something that they contribute to teaching the child by example. Mm-hmm. So that would be. That's one of his jobs, the teacher. I don't think that falls on me. As long as I'm doing.
I don't know. I don't think so? No.
I think if I tell her if I'm teaching her to respect people individually, to teach her how to respect a black man, it has to come from her father as an example. Mm-hmm. As an example, mm-hmm. I don't think that's just like raising a son. Is certain things that a black mother cannot teach him. It has to come from the father. So I teach her certain things, I contribute certain things, and certain things her father contribute. That's just.
And just to let y'all know too, because I've heard y'all say respect other people, other races. I want to keep it specific to black, because the conversation is about why black women don't feel protected. So I want to kind of keep it specifically on the black community, not so much everybody else. That's all I want to say.
No, I'm playing.
No, you good.
But I feel like, as far as the question goes, to respect the black man, I feel like that is her father's. I feel like I would do my due diligence with telling her, hey, teaching her how to respect people, and like Lena said, it's earned. So that part, I taught her that part specifically. Respecting black men, that will come from her father, because her opinion is going to be developed based on his interaction with her.
I feel like once she reaches a certain age, that does come into play, but your behavior still influences her actions.
Right. So if I were to get married, that would be her example.
So you don't have an example while you're single?
No. It's just me and her in the household.
Okay.
Just in regards to when she said if he's black, 85% of black male with college degrees are married to black women, and 88% of black men who are married are with black women. So
I was joking. It'll be a black man.
I ain't taking no dig on you. I just wanted to let the listeners know that we out here doing our thing.
Because everybody, the reason he did that is because it's a narrative going around that black men aren't loyal to our race as far as marriage, and same thing with black women. But black women are highly more likely than black men to marry inside of their race.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Absolutely.
That's why he was saying that.
That's right.
Black men?
Absolutely.
No, black women
are saying more. Black women are overwhelmingly higher in terms of marrying black men. Okay. You said if we were to marry interracially, black men would be first in that category with black women. But we're actually not even first, second, or I think. Are we third? I think we're third in this country in interracial marriage. We ain't even first or second. So.
Yeah. So that narrative is a lie. That's basically what he's saying.
And that's why we like to say these things. You can pull it up in the Pew Study research. There's plenty of studies that show it. Actually, even rich black men who bring home 75. Black men are more likely than black women to bring home at least 75,000 annually, and also double that the number of black men than women who make 250,000 annually. Still marry overwhelmingly black women. Like even rich black men. So we don't discriminate. Segregation is in everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I couldn't hear Michelle. What'd you say, Michelle?
Nothing.
She said, "Why do you think that is?"
Why do you think what?
That the numbers. So you're saying, the numbers reflect that, because I don't see that.
What, the numbers reflect that black men overwhelmingly still marry black women. Why does? Well, because again, we think and I'm not coming at nobody, but it's because we think social media is the end all be all. We think everybody's on social media, and they're not. There's a lot of people that don't use that shit, don't care about it, and don't reference it. But again, we think that because we're scrolling on our timeline, because again, we're Americans and we think everything revolves around us, is we pay attention to the wrong shit. We don't go look up numbers, we look up feelings. And we be like, see, you see them over there? Look at all these dudes, these white women. All right, well, let's look at the numbers and showcase that it's not as what we think it is. But I'm not saying that it ain't that it can't be looked at. But it's not what we bring it up to be. And it's because of marketing. The same thing that's always horrible depictions of black women, from the welfare queen titles to the jail, to the welfare black men go to jail all the time. We don't go to school and all this other kind of stuff. We're very much educated as well. But it's we look at those and then we go and say, oh yeah, that's got to be true. I mean, look at what I'm seeing in my purview. So I think that's really where it lies.
Okay. Right.
And we don't have enough faith in ourselves. Like we don't believe like that we're doing these good things. We just think that we're we just doing everything bad. And I mean, there are some things absolutely we got to fix for sure. One of those things is unity in terms of really loving each other and not being a house nigga. We really got to work on loving ourselves, because house niggadom is rampant in the black community for sure. And that's as a result of not teaching our children anything. We just grow up. And
goes back to that conversation about culture.
That's right.
What does a house nigger is?
House niggas. You don't love yourself. You always have a reason to make fun or talk about your people. There's rarely anything that positive that comes out of your mouth in reference to black.
A coon, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just don't like saying coon, but yes, coon works too.
Okay, I'm saying.
I like house nigga. But yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So my question was, why is it acceptable for men to be promiscuous, but women are like slut shamed for doing the same thing in the black community?
I'll let you take this one, Kendall, and I come in.
Well, I personally think women are slut shamed. Period. If they out here promiscuous, regardless of their color. I do think that black women probably get the brunt of it because they're overly sexualized. I mean, if you look, I mean, I look up everything. So if you look at, I just recently researched the end of the year Pornhub searches, and it's overwhelmingly in this country, number one is ebony. So as racist as this country is, y'all still overwhelmingly looking at ebony porn. Does that mean everybody loves black women? Hell no. It just means that you're fetishizing.
You said it right.
And you just it's like taboo. It's quiet. You know what I mean? So that's what I believe. I think it's women as a whole that we over sexualize with the promiscuity. I think that women should do whatever it is that they want to do in that context. We live in a world now where we live in sexual liberation, quote unquote. So if that's your prerogative and things that you're going to do, then that's fine. You just have to be okay with representing that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men don't care that y'all know that we out here doing this or that. We like, whatever. So, you know, take it or leave it. Versus women, they kind of want to keep that, you know, because of societal issues and pressures. So I think it has something to do with, that has to be somewhat on yourself to change that narrative in a male dominated society, which is way easier said than done because of what Jerome said earlier. This is a patriarchal society, regardless of black or white. We look, y'all know about it. Gender pay gaps, right? Y'all got the degrees, but you still getting paid 50 cents on the dollar, right? And we generally make more than y'all. So that's a damn shame. Of course, that's trending up, and I think that'll change. But that's the real issue is patriarchal situations and race. Go ahead, Jerome. No, I want to hear what your take is.
Well, I'll say, like, say, being in that it's a patriarchal society, I think a lot of the stereotypes stem from all the way, like I said, we can go all the way back to slavery, to the enslavement of our people. When
ding ding ding,
we can go all the way back there. And last week I kind of read off some of the things that was said about us through marketing. They've marketed the black man a certain way, and we've bought into it. We've bought into it as a culture in the society. Every bad thing that white people have had to say from a marketing perspective is for black people. We bought into it. And as far as us being over sexualized, because black men are over sexualized too, believe it or not. Like I said,
absolutely.
In the 70s, white women was coming through the black community trying to see if all of us had a quote unquote big one. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
And now they're going to Africa.
Right. Yeah. Now they're going to Africa. And y'all can look that up.
Fucking Mandingo land. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Continue.
Right. So go ahead.
For porn?
No, for big dick.
Oh, big porn.
Yeah.
No.
What we're saying is white women are literally traveling to different countries in Africa to go get their clocks clean. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It's a specific term for it, but I guess you can look it up, Kendall, while I'm talking. But yeah, but like I said, okay. It's just from a marketing standpoint. I really think that's the biggest issue, and we've bought into it. And then, like I said, not to mention that hip hop has always made it cool. Lately, now it's the flip. They're making it cool for women to be promiscuous, like I said earlier. So I think that's why it's okay, and I don't think it's really cool I think every person, man and female, should value themselves physically in a certain way. I know men don't, and it's always been cool for us not to, but I definitely think we should value ourselves. Because honestly, you can get turned off from your partner by being overly stimulated. I don't even want to get on that high horse right now, but from a women's standpoint, I think the reason it's even more shamed is because as much as we say we don't value y'all, men 100% do value y'all, and y'all are incubators. You know what I mean? Your womb, it's an incubator. You know what I mean? So when we think about y'all being promiscuous, it's like, oh, she done been ran through, blah 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 blah. Versus a man, everything on us is on the outside. So you know what I mean? So I think that's a major issue why it's flipped like that. What are y'all thoughts on it?
That was y'all question. That wasn't for us then.
I want to know what y'all thought. I want to know what your thoughts on it is, though.
I mean, as I've gotten older and more comfortable with myself and self-realization, I really don't care. So if I'm just going. If I gotta go out, I mean, whenever I feel like popping.
That's right.
That's what I'm do.
She gonna pop that thing.
Pop that thing.
She gonna pop that
I'm
thing.
be up there popping that thing. So, I mean, if if it's somebody and I tell them that, because I'm very open. If I tell them that, and they be like, "I want to be with you." Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
If somebody out there to do
Somebody
that want me to pop that thing, so
that will take this thing.
That's her Pisces side talking, y'all. For all of us.
that's that Mars and Scorpio side. So that I am a very open person. I'm very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be slut shamed.
Okay.
That don't have nothing to do with me. You popping.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
if he popping it with me, he popping his thing, so we even.
right, but and that's kind of what I was saying with women. Women themselves have to be okay with it because again, it really boils down to you. You know what I mean? Like if y'all don't care, then the narrative is going to change. But like to Jerome's point, men are looking at that as from a perspective of like, man, I could carry my baby or whatever, like those kind of thoughts because they think, the reality is we think women are damn near gods. We be like, man, like, how dare she? Like, like don't get us started on if y'all cheat on us. We like, what? Like, how dare this woman cheat on? She's so sacred and beautiful and blah, blah, blah. No, she's just human. That shit can happen. But we kind of live in la la land with that, so I think it has to do with women have to help enforce that. If that's the way we're going to move with things with sexual liberation, then we got to be okay with that because this shit has been going on forever. Like you said,
right.
Black women have been getting shitted on and over sexualized from hundreds of years ago. Like this is not changed. I mean, they used to literally have Sarah Bartman as a fucking circus act with her because she had a fat ass, right? And we're just out here running around like she's a damn gorilla or a zoo animal. Because we've never seen this before. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's been going on. So I think it has to do with how we look at it, as a society and are women okay at this point? Like, no, yeah, I'm popping that thing and
popping that
have
thing.
a good day, sir.
So this is most of the time when I'm open with somebody, I guess it's, the energy you give off when you're comfortable with yourself. I have never had a man trip on me saying that part. They usually, like, okay, well, we can move forward. Your past is your past. Because, I mean, if I feel like popping that's what I'm going to do. So don't ask about my past. Because I've been out there popping that thing.
Right. And at the same time, lots of women do the same thing for us. Men be out here getting it cracking. And sometimes women have to take in the brunt of those things. And sometimes they do. So, I mean, it's just how you look at it. It's really how you look at it. Yeah. Double standards are double standards, but you can change those double standards if you really want to. So,
I really think at the end of the day that you can do whatever you want to do. Anybody can really. It's just you just have to live with the results. I don't judge anybody by the way they live their lifestyle. So know what I mean. Like, but like I said, if you expect a certain outcome and you don't get it, that's because that's what you out here doing. But.
Right. I mean, I know y'all 2000s babies, but we remember the Girls Gone Wild videos, right? I mean, that shit was on as a commercial. Like, hey, did the white girls care? Hell no. They will go. Man, I went to college with predominantly white areas, and I literally know a couple girls that was really infatuated with black men, was out here getting tossed up, all types of stuff, but. Went and married the dude that was chasing her, the white dude. Like he was always like, bring your ass home, blah, blah, blah. They married now. And they still married to this day. I'm Facebook's friends with her. And I'm like, bro, she was out here going, and he knew it. He would go knock on the door like, you need to leave. And still married her. Did he look at her as a slut? I'm sure he did, but he's still wifed. So, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just that we don't know because this is our community and our culture. And we think, oh, this is just the black. Nah, they do the same thing. They just don't care. So I think that's kind of where it comes from. It's you gotta, kind of bring that liberation in yourself, and then we follow suit with it. If we really want to see that change, I don't know if we do.
What was that, Michelle?
I said it comes with realization, and accepting yourself for who you are. And it took years, but he said he can't hear me.
No, you go. Keep going.
You going in. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it took a while for me to get comfortable with that part of myself, but now, like, I mean, Don't ask me about my past. I ain't gonna ask you about yours. There's something new. Hey, don't ask me about my account, and I ain't gonna ask you about your account, and we ain't gonna have no problems.
Right. But I want to touch back on what Jerome said about valuing yourself. So if you're promiscuous, does that equate to not valuing yourself?
No, what I was saying is what I was saying is well, yeah. If you're promiscuous, it depends on how promiscuous. But what I was saying is that a lot of men don't value themselves physically. That's what I was saying. Not more so that women don't value themselves. What I was saying is a lot of men really don't value themselves. They don't see they can go out and have sex. Men get cool points for going out and having sex with 300 women. You know what I'm saying? We try to for a lot of times we try to fuck our way into manhood, and like really we do, like, you know what I'm saying. That don't make you a man just because you can stick your dick in something. Like, and I'm sorry I'm being frank, but that, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we as a black culture got to kind of move forward from that, and we really got to focus on the bag and like I said, and cultivating culture more than anything. Like, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I think a young man should really be focused on that, because a young man being an entrepreneur, a young man starting his own business, and not worrying about women so much could lead to a whole change for our community. And I'm gonna give you a fact right here. So, out of all the Fortune 500 companies, there were fewer than 10% with most senior P&L leaders in the Fortune 500 that are black. Okay, so that means less than 10 people in these high roles. And in a workplace, if you really want to protect women or see people of color succeed, we all know nepotism is a real thing, and you're more likely to hire somebody that you look like. So if we more so focus on the bag versus being promiscuous, we can kind of change that narrative. You know what I mean? We can be business owners and be employing people, and even make it up to levels of CEO and whatnot. And a lot of us don't really. That's what I meant by us not valuing ourselves.
Right. Okay. Tracking.
I'm tracking.
Hey,
come with the receipts.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, brother.
No. Yeah, I'll let y'all go with the next question. I got.
Oh, you want to? Okay.
Sorry.
So, black women voice a lot of the times that we don't feel respected or we feel disrespected, and we've actually spoken on it before. But as black men, what makes you feel respected?
Honestly, for me, active listening. I don't think we do any of that.
Jesus Christ.
In relationships.
That might be the best answer.
Like, active listening is like, it's just we one in the ear and out the other sometimes. And I think a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're just not heard. Now, sometimes we don't have no frame of reference. But I think that there's a lot of, like, just really didn't listen to what the hell he was saying. I interpreted what I thought he was saying, but I'm not really hearing this man out. And I think that is very frustrating for black men, because they already don't have an outlet. Like, at least, like, sisters, y'all come together, y'all go to brunch to talk about some fucked up shit. Like, girl, guess what happened? Blah, blah, blah. This shit is crazy. Let's get more mimosas over here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, men ain't doing that. We go out to avoid them things. Like, we don't even want to bring that shit up with our homies. You know what I mean? Because we don't feel like that's the same type of safe space. So I think that a lot of times our safe space is the relationship piece, or if it's your mama or your grandmother or your sister, you know what I'm saying? Like, some form of that, maybe your brother. But I think that's kind of what it is for myself, is the active listening piece.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna agree with Kendall on the active listening piece. I think that is the biggest thing, because us as men, when me and Kendall had conversations, it's almost always listen to each other. Like, and I'm like, oh, my brother felt me, so to speak. But when it comes to my partner or anybody, right? Like another woman, like, said, like, man, like, I'm having a bad day, I'm dealing with such. Oh, that's nice. And then you know what I'm saying? Then their brain just goes a completely another place. He's like, God damn, did you even hear a word?
Here's what happened to me.
Right. Exactly. So, like I said, what I said, I think to Kendall's point earlier is that I think I made the point earlier, but it was about us not being allowed safe spaces to be vulnerable, and like I said, and when you don't allow that, yeah, that would make me feel highly disrespected, is when somebody's not listening to me when I'm speaking. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to add one more thing. It also comes, like, it's a form, like, when I was young, like, I would come to my mom with some kind of problem I'm having at school. she would immediately be like, "Do you want me to come up there?" And I'm like, "Nah, like you're gonna embarrass me." You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to give me the okay to be able to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Before I do something, and you be like, "Why did you do that?" You know what I mean? So I think the listening really is like that's what helps the protection. It kind of encompasses all of that, because then all of a sudden you start just saying, "Well, shit, I'm gonna let mom's, because she gonna come do this shit anyway." You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's just her nature of her. She's a nurturer. She's trying to make sure her son, and I'm her only son, so that's times 10. She's trying to make sure I'm good in whatever context. You know what I mean? That's not her fault, but at the same time it is, because she's not really looking at what I'm saying. Let me go solve it for you. And I think that's kind of
that's your
the
mom's
listening
job.
piece has to be huge, huh?
I said that's your mom's job.
No, for sure. But you know what I'm saying though. But my point is, you're not gonna do that to your son. You gonna still come up to the school, but you gonna give him a few, like, all right, son, you get do, blah blah blah. This is what we need to do. Talk to him. You're gonna at least hear out kind of in the beginning. Maybe it might be different with your daughter, because it's the opposite thing. You might be like, no, I'm coming to school, baby. I don't care what you're talking about. So the active listening might be on that side, but I was just giving a frame of reference with that.
Yeah,
so that's all I meant by that.
And one thing I just gotta give an example, because this happened to me years ago. I was dealing with this. I was going through a custody battle with my son. I was dealing with this young lady, or just entertaining. I won't even say dealing with it, because nothing ever happened. But I made a point to her. I was telling her about one of the situations I was dealing with. And I was like, like this, that, and third. Like, man, I'm really having a hard time dealing with this. And then she was like to my point, she was like, oh, well, that's nice. Well, this is what I had going on today. And I was like, bitch, that was the first thing that came to my head. And I don't even, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't like to call women bitches, but what's that?
Female dog.
Yes, that was because I'm telling her about something I'm dealing with, and she wasn't listening. So that was the first thing that came to my head, was like, bitch, and I cut her off. I never talked to her again.
And that's because you were dealing with a real situation, and you were mad. You were feeling some kind of way, and it was like she didn't even take into
shit. I was hurt. It wasn't mad. I was
needed
hurt.
somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
No, well, I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess to say upset. I guess I should say that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not female dog.
All right, we ready for y'all questions.
Kim, did you have another question? Because my question is gonna be. I want to ask it last.
I'm not listening.
You said for me to go?
Yeah, I said if you had another question, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go, because my question.
No, go ahead, bro. If you want to do yours next.
Well, no, it's gonna be the last one, because it's Okay.
Sure. So, in terms of we kind of been talking about different aspects of protection and all that. So, for ladies, what type of emotions come into play when you're in a situation where you don't feel protected? Like, how do you feel? Like, have you ever been, I'm not saying if you've ever been in that situation, but if you had a scenario like that where you didn't feel protected, what were some of the emotions that kind of went through your body or mind or whatever as you were kind of experiencing that? Like, what did it feel like to just kind of feel like you weren't being protected?
Okay. So me as a person, if I haven't been in that position, but if I knew the person was capable of verbally protecting me, because not physically, I don't condone violence.
Right.
It would make me like disappointed. I think that would be, nobody's obligated to stand up for you, but if I knew that the person was capable of verbally protecting me in that situation, I would feel disappointed, because it would be an example for other races that it's okay to disrespect a Black woman, even when a Black man is around. Like I said earlier, I just feel like if I was in that position, that they would mind their business. So that gives them the green light to like, okay, hey, even if a Black man is around, if we disrespect a Black woman, it's no repercussions.
Right.
So I haven't been put in that situation yet. We're not going to wood. But I feel like that would be what would happen. I don't see, if it's not anybody that's close to me or in my circle that's a male, I don't see them sticking up for me. I think I would have to stick up for myself. So in that situation, I would be disappointed. I can't be angry because nobody's obligated to stick up for you, not even your boyfriend, not even your dad. But I think I would just be disappointed in our men, Black men, at that point.
Okay. Me personally, if I was in a situation where I wasn't protected, I think my fight or flight response will activate. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hate to say it, but it's like I can only depend on myself. So yeah, I have a little bit of disappointment, but I think it's like it's me against the world mentality will come into play whereas if I had that protection, I can, seek refuge and relax. You know what I mean? I don't have to fight all the time because I feel like that's our life all day, every day. We fight.
All my life I have to fight.
All my life I have to fight. It's like we tired of fighting or flying.
We motherfucking tired.
We tired. We tired. So, motherfucking tired. Yeah. So that's what's gonna activate me. I'm gonna have to.
So you going into protection mode yourself, not so much sad or hurt. You just going straight into, all right, I got to get past that. Let me fix it. Let me take care of it myself. Gotcha.
Okay.
Because then again, nobody's obligated. Like I said,
I disagree.
Yeah, my daddy better protect me.
I was about to say I disagree with you. Like I think there is an obligation, but I guess that's my perspective as a man. Like I kind of look at it like there is an obligation, especially if it's somebody you really know, or like if like say your daughter or your wife. Like that shit goes without saying. Like that's one thing I love about my brother-in-law. He don't give a damn if it's his own kids. Like he blasting them in the chest. Like it's not. Let me not say that CPS don't come from, but like it's not a game when it comes to his wife. Like he's not playing that game, and I think that's how it should be, personally.
But everybody's loyalty, like everybody's moral compass is set up different. So
no, for sure.
That's why I would feel disappointed because nobody's obligated at that point because of course our moral compass kicks in, our loyalty, what we feel is compassion, everything. There's so many variables in that situation, but I wouldn't be angry. I don't think I would. The angry black woman. I think I would be more.
No such thing.
Yeah, I think I would be more disappointed at that point.
Yeah. I would say if you in a marriage, I think that your husband is 100% obligated to protect you.
Obligated.
100%. If your husband ain't protecting you or providing some kind of comfort, he's failing.
Bye.
Yeah, he's failing. I'm sorry if fellas feel like I'm hating or whatever the case it is, but that's 100% the fact. That's what you there for.
Nah, nigga, you a married man. You can say it, you get your shit off. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what the fuck you there for. So just do your
that's
job.
Right.
And shit, y'all made a point earlier. I can't even think what I was about to say. It's gonna come back to me. But damn, man, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about the obligation that a man should. Oh, I know what it was. But back to culture. Like I said, I think we definitely need to cultivate a culture where people should feel obligated to protect, especially in the black community, because Coretta Scott King said it best. She said the fight for civil rights needs to be fought and won with every generation. The fight for freedom, not civil rights. I'm sorry, for freedom, because nobody's 100% giving us freedom. So I think we definitely need to create, like I said, cultivate a culture around that. What's that?
I was trying to open a wine and I broke the cork.
Y'all see Michelle? Hey, Michelle, listen. This is what we call.
She wasn't actively listening, Jerome.
Yeah, she wasn't actively listening. Now I'm hurt. Now I'm.
Lena, old strong ass.
Well, nah. Listen, this is what.
Over here and shit.
Michelle, this is what we call all bullshit. ABS. When somebody sabotages a show like this, you on all bullshit.
I was trying to just pour me a glass and Lena strong ass put the man over here.
Throw that cork off.
He man over here.
Nah. Get y'all cork open. Listen, this is a relaxed environment. Everybody, this is a safe environment. Get your bottle open. You got time.
Right back.
So but yeah, back to my point, man. Like ladies, listeners, men listeners, teach our children, man, about protecting black women. And one thing I would like to say is I think a lot of black men wait until they have daughters to care about black women's feelings, and I think
yes.
And I think we definitely need to change that in our society, man. Like it should just be. Michelle, did you hear that part? I said I think a lot of black men wait till they have daughters to start caring about black women, and I definitely think we need to change. That needs to change in our society too.
I agree.
Yeah, because like they'll see their mothers and they spouses and stuff going through stuff, and they just don't care. And like I said, until they have a little girl,
Man, all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of black men who are of celebrity status, I singled out Kevin Samuels, but it's been some more.
Mm-hmm.
They oftentimes put black women down on public platforms. What are your opinions on the way our community addresses issues with black women?
Well, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Samuels. I don't think he's as flagrant as some of these other dudes who I personally just dislike black women as a whole. Because sometimes I've seen, and I don't watch Kevin Samuels like that, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know a lot about him. But I've seen actual video of him like chastising black men as well, saying, "Bro, you don't have no money. Like, how are you gonna even get with somebody?" Blah blah blah. So I do like the fact that he at least does that instead of just kind of going on this high horse of just disrespecting black women. But there are others out here that just straight up, it's just like the Hotep people, the Hotep community in certain cases. You got these certain people that pretend like they really are for the black cause, but it's really just about getting this money. And I think a lot of that's really what it is. They say the worst of the worst to get those views to come in and to get people riled up, especially women. And they come right in there like, what you talking about? Why would you even say that? Blah, blah, blah. And that's right when they get it. Like, cool, that's exactly what I needed. Now I'm finna just floor her, what's the Fresh and Fit podcast or whatever. You know, like there's some other ones where they just blatantly disrespect women, to an extent, instead of actually having some sort of frame of reference or actual conversation about it. It just becomes a war of words instead of y'all actually trying to come to some sort of resolution, not necessarily agreeing to something, but you're not really in it to actually resolve anything. It's just really for views and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were y'all about to say something or?
I was just going to say real quick, it kind of reminds me of like Fox News. They don't believe half the shit that they're saying, but they know. I'm going to say this shit because this is the #1 news syndicated show, and they watching this shit like crazy, especially people that don't look like us because a lot of them are overly paranoid. Mm-hmm. But they know that shit ain't real, that what they're saying, but they still say it.
Yep.
Without reprimand.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jerome.
I'm just going to comment on the Kevin Samuels because she pointed to him. Like Kendall said, it's definitely a lot of personalities out here who don't believe the shit that they say, and they just trying to be flagrant and driving views so they know controversy is going to get the attention on their platforms. One thing I will say about Kevin Samuels, he always comes with statistics, facts, and he's analytical with it. I watch a lot of his content just to see where he's coming from because I don't like to paraphrase people and then just form my opinion from there. I think the hardest thing to accept when it comes to his platform is like I said, we've seen that, but like it is his show, right? And when people come on the show, he wants them to kind of respect the host. You know what I mean? And when they start trying to overtalk him or something like that, then he gets kind of funny with it. But he also doing it to be provocative and to kind of just be entertaining on the show. It's like I said, I think the major thing, my major takeaway, what's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I froze. I'm sorry, but I was saying my major takeaway from this show is that he's trying to tell people, have people set realistic expectations when it comes to dating, and to bring together our community versus having it separate. You know what I mean? I would suggest people listen to him in long form. I know it's kind of hard for women because, man, women do not like that dude. They've made him completely toxic, but that was just my takeaway from that. But I 100% don't agree with disrespecting. With all that said, I 100% don't believe with disrespecting black women in any public forum. If any man feel cool doing that shit around his peers, he don't care about black women. I've never been that type of nigga. Like I don't want to hear nothing bad somebody got to say in a public platform about black women. Now we can discuss it amongst ourselves in our community, but I'm not really trying to hear that on a public platform. And that comes to my like I said, and also I'll speak for myself. I'm also a little bit different. I'm a little bit more conscious, so I'm not trying to have nobody in my immediate space who feel comfortable doing that shit. You got to move around me quick.
Okay. All right. So not singling out Kevin Samuels, but you're just saying both of y'all are saying that it shouldn't be displayed on a public platform. It should be discussed amongst ourselves and our community. Correct?
Yes. And I know him. He does. I'm not sure if the large amount of his viewership is black or white. I don't really know his analytics at all, but I have seen him where he talks to all people, not just black, not just white, Hispanic, and he handles everybody the same way. So if he was handling a white woman a little bit different than he was handling a black woman, I would probably be looking at him kind of sideways.
He does.
Huh? You said he does.
Yes.
Not from what I've seen, but like I said, you might have seen something different. But like I said, I've watched quite a bit of his content. But I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but not from my observation. But you could be 100% be right.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of his at all, so I can't really comment on him. I just don't like the whole like, like, oh, your cholesterol is visible or showing, or like shit like that. Like, like I don't think that's progress. But again, that's to me, that's when he's doing the entertaining portion. Like that's when he's trying to, okay, let's get a few more thousand up in here.
Yeah,
somebody gonna hear this shit, and this shit gonna go viral. So, but like I said, I think that's the problem I have with it. Like when it just becomes more so entertaining. But again, that's why they're on YouTube. I mean, if it was some deep show throughout the whole time, most people probably ain't gonna watch it. So I think that's kind of where that comes from. But like I said, I don't watch a lot of his stuff, so I can't speak on it.
So then for like you said, like he's very shallow. So if a heavier set black woman comes on his show, it's like he's offending her appearance. So do you think that the beauty standards are different for women of other races versus black women? And I'm gonna say this question because growing up, I've always had fuller lips. So that was always made fun of, talked about. But now that the Kardashians incorporated that into society, it's more popular. So now it's more acceptable. So do you think the beauty standards are different for black women versus women of other races?
Well, I will say this because you were still kind of on the Kevin Samuels tip. As far as him talking about a beauty standards, right? He is a image consultant. That's his title. That's what he goes by. And most people that he consult with is it's all about the outward appearance. It's not really about anything else. So I think that's where a lot of people get it misconstrued. And he always leads with that he's an image consultant. So that's why we get this shallowness, so to speak, on his show. Now I will say America is the earliest adopter of black culture, and they don't know shit about it. And with that being said, is like we control the cool. We've always had, and the more that we've had optics on us, the more people gravitate towards our stuff and imitate it. You know what I mean? Remember Bo Derek with the cornrows, and then other white women started doing it. Did we lose?
So this is what I'm saying. Like, so I've always had full lips. When I was younger, that was looked as a black feature, big noses and big full lips. But now that the Kardashians have come in, Kylie has come in, it's more acceptable. Same with the big butts. Like back in the day, that wasn't in. But so do you think that the beauty standards are different? Because I've seen, and this is not to attack anybody, but I've seen the same black men that would date a white woman that's not physically attractive, but the black woman can't have this and this and this. She got to be beautiful, natural. So do y'all think that the beauty standards are different for black women versus women of other races?
And now I'll let Kendall go after this, but I wouldn't say, I'm put like this: the world is, all these women out here are imitating y'all. And if black women are looking, if y'all insecure about y'all appearance, y'all shouldn't be, because every woman out here is imitating a black woman. All these BBL surgeries, all this type of shit, they all imitating y'all. All these lip injections, all that bullshit, they imitating y'all. So y'all should feel honored. I mean, I understand how it's offensive because it is cultural appropriation, and cultural appropriation is basically I know y'all know what it is in a sense, but right. It's only when the culture who created it can't benefit from it. And right now, all the white women are benefiting from black culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
so it's mean that there's a difference in the beauty standards.
I wouldn't say no. It's just that white supremacy in the media. and the way it's marketed through the country, it makes it seem that way. But I don't think that it's a difference in the beauty standards. It was at one point when America just thought, you know, big boob white girls was the shit. You know what I'm saying? And you were speaking about brothers who was dating white women. Them are brothers who don't have no cultural identity. Because it's a lot of cats out here who just do not want ugly kids. We spoke about this before on our podcast. So they'll go get with the most mediocre looking white woman and then have these quote unquote beautiful mixed babies. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of niggas out here who don't have no.
And they won't. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But that's not always the case, because Trey Young is a funny looking biracial person.
I'm just saying.
Right.
That's why I said that's why I said quote unquote, because but go ahead.
Because
I'm like, oh my goodness,
allegedly funny looking. We ain't gonna shit on Trey Young on public platform.
What up, Ice Trey?
Right.
But I think.
Okay.
No, go ahead. No.
He wasn't trying to cut you off. Go ahead.
Black women are judged more harshly in all areas, even physically. Because I have a cousin, her lips are bigger than mine. Like, she went through it in high school, and then all of a sudden Kylie Jenner come out with this face that's like altered, and they like, we like fuller lips, and people come up to me and be like, hey, where you get your lips done at? Birth?
Right, my mama and daddy.
Like,
my mama and daddy.
So now it's more acceptable, but it took like a woman of a different race to make that acceptable. And even sometimes black men don't even, they don't want their children having those features. So then they will go to the white girl that, was altered and have kids with her, even though, those are not her lips. But
yeah, she wasn't born with that.
So yeah, it just goes back to identity, and again, house nigga stuff, and not loving yourself for real, which is why you go get the damn BBL and all this other stuff. I don't even understand why black women go get it. Like, if we're representing, if white women are trying to represent black women, what is your point for getting a fatter ass? You already got a fat ass.
Only so again, to answer your question, Kendall, OnlyFans. But go ahead.
It's competition.
You said what?
It's competition. So now that they're going and getting bigger asses, then we got to compete with them, because
I don't agree. I just think it has, like I said, I don't know about that, because I don't even think it means that you're more attractive because you got a bigger butt. You know what I mean? I think it should be. I think that has to do with us. Like, we need to quarrel that. Like, we should have more. We should love ourselves more, and I think that a lot of times we don't. I think that's why we are okay with these little features. To me, my perspective, if you're in those cases and you're dating all these white women, a lot of this just has to do with the fact that you think you're going to be able to get away with more shit than you would with the black woman. I mean, that's just how I look at it. They know that it's not going to be the same type of reprimand. It's just way different. And I'm not saying all white women, because some will jump in your face if you do something wrong. But I think that a lot of this has to do with, again, identity and how you feel about yourself. For you to think that all these dudes are going to be jumping over just because these women are having these surgeries, I don't know if that's going to be an accurate depiction of it. But it definitely happens. And we'll see as it goes throughout the future, because more, all this injections and all this other stuff is happening right now. It's happening now, because it used to be just like you said, Pamela Anderson with the big breasts and the small, skinny waist. That's what black women was doing in Baywatch. The black women that was on Baywatch, they looked the same damn way. They didn't want to have the bigger butts and all that other kinds. They wanted to make sure that flat booty was on TV, because they didn't want those big asses. Remember that? So we wasn't even putting black women on TV if they had a big butt.
let alone in the magazine. Let alone in magazines, you had to be fucking 50 pounds and look like you barely ate. So it's changing. Black women have changed that. Big plus size women, black women changed that. From what's the big Ashley Stewart, whatever. Come on now. That was black women helped revolutionize that and showcase that black women are beautiful no matter their size. So again, this has the same kind of thing to do with like what you're talking about with promiscuity. You need to be okay with how big you are. You need to be okay with how you look, so that you don't give a damn when Penelope changes up her body in order to get shit together. So that's on us, and I think that's what we need to address first before go ahead and let them get the lip injections. How stupid was that challenge when everybody put a damn cup in their mouth to make their lips bigger? That was your dumb ass. You know what I mean? So that it's about how we feel about ourselves first, and then we can go from there after that. But until we change that, it's going to be the same recurring thing. It's going to be something else, some other new feature that it's going to be, So
I think that's kind of that's where I come from with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Got it. All right, we ready for y'all.
And
that was the last of my questions.
Yeah,
you might have a couple more.
And
for me.
I got a question.
Jerome's got something.
Mine was gonna go last, but I just want the caveat because
asked 2 questions. No, he didn't.
I didn't ask my last question yet. I think Kendall did.
I asked 3.
His question.
Is it Jerome's?
Mm-hmm. It's me.
Okay, Jerome, you got one question.
Yeah, Jerome's got something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I just had a comment before I asked my last question.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say was, it's kind of hard for me to believe that 2 beautiful women like yourselves will have issues like that. I can understand it growing up, but like it just amazes me that people would have an issue with y'all appearance. What's
present day?
Present day, no. We got this.
Present day, that's what I thought. Okay.
But again, Kim Kardashian and them didn't change that. Y'all did, really.
Yeah.
They just latched onto it, and she's the most. Kim Kardashian is literally probably the most famous woman in the world as a result of her sex tape and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all changed that.
So prior to Kylie getting the lip injections, who was? I mean, it wasn't a black woman that was known for full lips,
right? Because we're not
being attractive.
But at that time, that was still pre-Me Too movement, right? We didn't care about what women thought. We still don't, but we pretend like we do now.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's where things are now. Black women they're in certain positions of power to an extent. I'm not talking about some TV or some shit like that. But now you got IG, you got Facebook, you got these platforms where you can say, no, actually this is some bullshit, and I look way better. Here's how. That's just kind of how I think y'all are literally changing it. We just don't look at it that way because we think it's just the Kardashians doing it. They just have a platform. They have their stupid ass reality show that black women watch, by the way, which is I don't understand. So no, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm saying it wouldn't be such a highly respected quote unquote show if everybody wasn't watching it. I mean, that's the reason why they are who they are. They're making all this money because of their brand. Right. So
he said right. Okay. All right. Jerome had one more question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my last question was, in y'all opinion, what ways could we move forward to begin to heal the division between black men and women in this country or in our communities?
Okay. So I'm a big advocate for counseling because of my job. So individual counseling to heal the inner child. So a lot of us grow up in whether it be a single parent household or 2 parents, but it's broken homes, and that stems from slavery, like we spoke of before, generational curses. So I think addressing that and like it taking on healthy practices to pass down to the generations to come would be my opinion. I think getting counseling, individual counseling, by black counselors, because it is a difference.
Right.
My sessions are different from other sessions. We inherited those behaviors from slavery, and those are toxic. So we have to heal that part of our community. So that starts with self-accountability and self-realization and resolving that inner child, the issues with your inner child, and moving forward.
I agree. 100% agree with the counseling, taking care of your mental health, nurturing any, trauma that you've experienced, creating a safe space and like balance and harmony and zen. You got to trust trust each other, be honest with one another, be compassionate because we share the same struggles, you know what I mean? So being compassionate towards each other and understanding those struggles and just being accountable.
Yeah. So what do y'all think?
I definitely agree.
Ladies, that was a question for you.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You set that tone. Don't do that.
This what Lena called tit for tat.
I just think executing executing like healthy practices to pass down to generations. Because if you look, and this is a comparison, if you look at, and I'm gonna put white people in the spotlight, if you look at their households, because they don't have that generational trauma, so their practices are more wholesome, I guess.
Girl, stop. No.
So what? Okay, what's the difference? They don't whoop their kids. We whoop our kids.
But their kids
But
also shooting up schools.
So you think whooping your child is?
No, I don't whoop my kids, but my kids not.
I whooped Zoe ass last week and she went to sleep. What? I promised her I wasn't gonna whoop her no more.
Hilarious.
So I mean, just like that's something. So that's something that I was learned. I was taught from my mom. Like my mom used to. She ain't playing.
Maybe they should whoop them.
Something that's so toxic. So like passing that down, I don't want that in my household. So I think incorporating healthy practices and healing your inner child, taking out the white people because you didn't agree with that,
right? Because I'm like, they shooting up schools.
White people do not kill. They don't kill their kids. They don't whoop their kids.
They don't whoop their kids. But Billy goes to school and shoot everybody up.
So you think he needs whooping?
That's generational trauma.
Billy need his ass whooped.
I don't know, but
okay. So taking out, she didn't agree with that. So taking out the white people, we ain't gonna compare ourselves to them. We just need to come up with our own healthy practices and incorporate. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
But whooping your child is not. I mean, Billy gonna still shoot up the school if you whoop his ass. He probably gonna shoot more people.
I don't think he just goes in like, oh, let's just shoot 2.
I mean, you know, he probably shoot like 10, but if you whoop his ass, he gonna be mad. So
he gonna shoot all 30.
The whole school at that point. So whooping Billy ass ain't help him not shoot up the school. But I'm just saying, you know, like in our community,
apples and oranges. Just leave Billy in.
Okay, Christian. So
Christian.
if you, I guess coming up with our own healthy practices to incorporate. So then, do you think that before we were in slavery that we got whoopings?
You're thinking when we were in
Africa?
Yeah. Y'all think we got our ass whooped?
Hell yeah! You know black people whooping some ass.
Yeah.
But that's coming from generational trauma. That's not.
Okay. I don't think
that was practiced before we came over here.
Yeah, I don't think we don't.
Friends, ask them.
They don't get no whoopings. But I'm gonna tell you something about African people. They stick together and their marriages last longer than ours.
Yeah, that's just America because everything over here is a business contract. That's why marriage is longer elsewhere.
It's generational. That's generational trauma that's passed down. That's Black people as a whole. Like Kendall said in the beginning, we don't have an identity. Us over here, we don't know who we are and where we sit. We don't even. What language were you supposed to speak?
Yeah, as far as whooping goes, I don't think we that. Yeah, as far as whooping goes, I don't think we the only culture that spank our children. I'm pretty sure some Indian people I've seen out there spank their kids before.
Ask Russia.
You see some Indian people with their kid ass?
Ask Russia.
You said have I seen
it? But where did that? I mean, okay, all right, y'all got a point, but I'm just saying.
What was the question?
The question was shit. He said,
active listening.
Every episode she'd be like, what was the question again? I was waiting for her to ask it. But he said, how do we heal? We move forward. So I was saying, like, we got to incorporate some healthy practices.
You said,
but that don't include whooping Billy ass because
LaQuandra stupid.
You answered. I had too much to drink.
I answered already.
Let me give y'all a summary.
Mm-hmm.
My answer was healing your inner child and not whooping your kid's ass and incorporating some healthy practices.
That sounds like a good answer to me. I'm with that.
Or we're gonna shoot the schools up.
But let me
black people gonna start shooting schools up and we don't whoop them.
Hey, don't put that on my platform.
If she was gonna shoot up a school and I whooped her ass, she gonna shoot more people. She gonna be mad. So whooping her ass does not help that. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need to, but again, I think it needs to go back to what you said originally. Fuck what everybody else is doing. Let's build what we need to be doing amongst our family dynamic, because the reality is black people are way different. Black Americans are different from other races, even if you want to go Africa, Caribbean, whatever. But we're all the same. Trust me. We all love to fucking dance for 6 to 7 hours at one case. We love to fucking put spice in all our damn food. We love to be generally loud as hell, late. It's all the same. We're all the same. We just have different cultures and how we operate. That's it. And by the way, when we talk about marriage in this country, 50% are divorced. So as a whole, when we live in a free quote unquote country, we just do what the hell we want to do. That's the problem. That's what it is. And when you don't have any boundaries and no one's giving you any of those boundaries, then we have what we have. That's why we're okay with just like, oh, fuck the family, I'm out.
Right. So do y'all think that stems from like that's generational trauma with the broken homes and all that? Because if you go back to the motherland where we're originally from, despite the theory that I gave you, do y'all think that that's like the broken homes? Because Lena had pointed out something last week during the slavery episode that the William Lynch book, What We Were Taught. So you still see those results in our community today. So do you think that comes from generational trauma? How do you heal the generational trauma? So I think getting counseling from Black counselors, but then again, we're still taught in college the white curriculum of how to execute counseling. So would you say like making up our own universities to incorporate our own counseling curriculum and then incorporating that in our society? Because I have talked to a lot of Black clients and they're just like, this doesn't, and we have to go by curriculum, even though sometimes I might add a little extra, but we have to go by that curriculum. You have to do, like, if you're doing CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a set outline that you have to go by. So do you think in our community, like making our own rules and coming up with our own curriculum, that would be more beneficial to us? Absolutely. Don't y'all like how I flip and ask the question?
Yeah. Well, just something that's going to resonate. Go ahead, Jerome.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I 100% agree with that, because I tell people all the time, our struggles in this country are unique. It's not an almost damn near exclusive. Like, you know what I mean? So I 100% think that coming up with our own curriculum or definitely at least seeking out a Black therapist, because if you're going through something that damn well a white person can't relate to, at least just having that person that's Black there, they can relate to you. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's important to definitely seek out a Black therapist. But but definitely another thing that I think will help too is just teaching self-love.
Identity
and identity is like Kendall said. I think that will 100% help us to become better and stronger as a society, because the more you love yourself, the less you're looking for outside influences for approval. You know what I mean? So
yes,
that's true.
So I've never cared. Go ahead.
I had a client that I hope this don't come back and haunt me, but I had a client that was
the next question.
I'm not saying the name.
No, HIPAA. What's the next question? My question was.
Yeah, it was on you. Yeah, you done already messed it up with your. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll do it on the next episode.
Okay.
So my last question was, in what ways can you as Black men protect Black women?
Well, for me, continuing to do what I've been doing, advocating. So like I said, mostly I do a lot of that in the workforce. Also empowering women to be able to understand that they too can do whatever the hell it is that they want. Once again, not looking for approval. I think that's a lot of our problem. We're always looking for approval from the wrong people. And like I said, just making sure that they understand like who you are and being okay with that. That's just really the major thing for me. It's always going to just kind of boil down to identity, because I just don't feel like we have enough of that. There's a lot of like I said, the house nigga is rampant, and we really need to change that and have understanding that we too are a part of this country. We too, this is ours as well. We don't need to go back to Africa and all this other kind of stuff. We need to stay right here and fix the internal problems that we have going on. And I think it starts with us loving each other and make it literally and really pushing for community. And it all comes with making sure young women from childhood to even into adulthood, reinforcing, you still that dude, or lady. or whatever you assign yourself as, but these days. But I think it's just really, it boils down to that ease. Like it's not, I don't even think it's really that deep. I really think it's really advocacy and active listening and making sure that people, we're all being heard. And I really think that that's really what'll help us as far as in that context of making sure that Black women are feeling protected and young girls.
Mm-hmm. And also making ourselves available in the workplace, in public, and to our families. I think we definitely have to let it know that hey, this is a safe space where you can come and talk to me. You know what I mean? I've done it with several family members, several close friends. I always make them feel comfortable to come and talk with me, and every time they come to me, it stays there. You know what I mean? Most people could just want to be an ear so they can gossip. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I've always made myself readily available to people so they can feel like that, because if they know that if it's a problem, they can come to me. And if something need to be handled, they can always come to me. I've always made myself available. So I think cultivating those relationships. I didn't hear you say that one more time.
I said, how are you handling problems? If I come to you with a problem, how are you gonna handle it?
It depends on what the problem is. If it's something that needs to be handled physically, if it's something that needs to be handled mentally, we can discuss it. But yeah,
I need a couple of dollars.
Oh, if you need a couple of dollars, I have. So me personally, I'm glad you asked that question, because I know a lot of Black people like especially successful Black people. I'm glad you asked that question. They like to be, they especially Black women. Y'all are so giving. Y'all definitely need to stop that. Number one, like y'all need to stop being a bank for people. But what you can't, because it's a fact. I'm not talking from, this is a statistic. Black women are more giving than anybody, than any other race and any other person, because they normally the more successful ones in their family, so they normally try to give and be the bank for people. But what I do is, if it's a financial situation, I have a separate account that I have strictly for people that need to borrow money, because normally when people borrow money, they don't have any intention on giving it back. So I already have an intention on not receiving it back. So once it's once that money is gone from that account, it's over. Like it is what it is. Like I can't help nobody else. So I have it set up strictly like that for in case of emergency if somebody comes for me.
Balance of that said account. See, come
on.
Balance of that said account. I'm just saying.
You said how much is in said account?
Hilarious.
I'm not putting my personal business out there, but anyway. But no, that's just some advice.
If I had a problem with my children, how would you? What's the solution?
Well, I'm a parent. Like I said, it depends on the issue. I'm a parent, so I can either give you advice, or if they need some straightening, we can get them some straightening.
Straightening.
What is straightening?
What's straightening?
That's just a song.
We ain't. That's what I'm saying. It's just a song. We ain't whooping kids.
Just straightening, straighten them up.
Michelle, the only one that's whooping.
They gonna everybody.
No, like I had a like when I was younger, and if I said something a little too out of pocket in the household, my mama, your moms can whoop you and all that, but sometimes you need a different type of authority. Mm-hmm. And there was someone who I revere, my man, Mr. Davis. He made sure to let me know, like, you disrespecting your mama, boy? He'd grab me by my shirt, hit me up. He never like slapped me or didn't, but this was enough. Mm-hmm. When he hoisted me up in the air, I'm like, oh yeah, let me tone it down. Exactly. I shouldn't be talking to her like that, or you have to be it takes a village. It's really history repeats, man. This ain't nothing that's nothing new. We have to protect each other, like period. Like we got to stop acting like it's us against them, or you against me. It's really us against everybody else. Like we gotta make sure that that we have our stuff intact, as far as that's concerned. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you make yourself available, Jerome.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Got to.
Got to. Yeah, got to. Especially like I said, because we are. I tell my peers all the time. We got to start looking at ourselves as elder statesmen, because we don't. We act like all our problems is just us against everybody and stuff like that. We got to start looking at ourselves as leaders and elder statesmen in the game. So when people come to us, we can mentor them. We can help them. And I mentor quite a few young men. So like I said,
same here.
Yeah, we did like, and every last one of them know. You come to me talking about some relationship, you better be ready for the truth, because I'm not sugarcoating nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But
If it's the best way to learn how to lead, because sometimes you gotta, take the initiative to listen. And one of my favorite quotes is, if you want to lead, learn how to follow.
mm-hmm.
And that's Game of Thrones. Shout out to my man. But it's real talk. You gotta learn how to sit back and listen sometimes. And sometimes we don't do that. We just want to lead, and here's just what you need to do, instead of listening. Like, here's what I think you should do, and this will make sense to me. Now you talk to me about it. That's kind of what we need to work on, instead of just tell this way it needs to be, and then that's all it is. We gotta converse.
What were you saying, Lena? You were saying something, but we cut you off.
What'd you say?
Oh, I said I'm not a follower. I'm a leader.
That's fine. That's fine. But that's what I'm just saying. In certain contexts, you do need to follow. Sometimes we need to just take it. Sometimes there might be a better leader in the room. Sometimes I do it all the time. I've been in several situations where I'm sitting. I'm not trying to toot my horn or nothing like that. But I was, for 2 years. For 2 years, I was the Southeast director for a employee resource group for the Southeast, and I'm not compared to them. I was younger than a lot of them, but it didn't stop me from. Even as a director, if the president who I'm over had a better opportunity or a better idea, I sat back and like, oh no, you want to lead that? You can go right ahead. And then it gives them the exposure, and it gives them the leadership qualities that they've learned now that they can be leaders. And I took a step back instead of trying to take all the damn credit because I'm the leader. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Black people should be horizontal with their leadership. It should not be hierarchical. That's not how we learn. We don't base ourselves off of hierarchy. That's all constructs of capitalism and how they do their culture over here. How black people are, we need to be horizontal. Black women, blah blah. Like I just told you about the Black Panthers, there were plenty of women in the Panthers. We didn't say, oh no, y'all can't be in here. Now again, it wasn't the best of the best for some women, but I'm just saying we didn't do that. And that's how we need to do with a lot of our leadership. It shouldn't be we just want to be, and I'm not saying you saying that, but we shouldn't just all want to be those leaders and not understand when sometimes we might have to just take that back seat. And this might be a better leader. As a matter of fact, she on her way or he's on his way. And let's give him that boost so that they can really expand.
Yeah.
I need to adopt that.
Yeah, I'm glad you.
I have to compliment y'all on being such gentlemen, because Kendall is like, hey, not saying that you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it can get personal.
Right,
some people might think you
personal.
lashing out at them, and I just want to make sure, like, that's not what this conversation is about. So.
I'm glad. I also got to give my brother his kudos too, because I'm glad you intellectualized that about horizontal leadership, because I've always been that type of leader, and I never thought about it like that. But that's exactly what type of leader I am. Because honestly, if I knew I had an employee or somebody under me that was doing quote unquote under me, that was the subject matter expert, I would always point to them and give them their kudos in that environment. So you 100% right.
And that's what a leader is. You're a real leader versus a fucking manager who just wants to take all the damn credit and act like he built up all these people instead of, nah, you know what? They helped me out too. They helped me with my.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see where y'all coming from.
Y'all got anything? Y'all got anything else? Any questions that we didn't answer or y'all want to ask before we wrap this up?
I don't. But we're gonna get y'all on another episode, like with some
juicier stuff.
Far left stuff.
Yeah. We
birth charts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just glad y'all that we connected and was able to build, because I think this was constructional. So I would definitely appreciate y'all. Oh shit! Can the mic drop? Hey Kendall, I'm gonna let me text him and let him know I'm just gonna wrap this up.
He can still hear us, right?
Yeah, I think he still hears, but I think he got this microphone that he has to charge that he probably.
I think every third episode of the month we should do this. Like, we should put them on our show.
Yeah, I definitely listen.
You need to ask
Jerome said okay.
I said okay. Soon as she said that question. Hey, listen, I got Our women listeners have been asking for us to have more women voices on our show, so y'all welcome back anytime. If y'all want to do this, like I said, every 3 weeks, I'm definitely down for that.
Me too.
You get on my nerves so much.
I get it.
There she goes. Jerome, his rising must be a Virgo too, because he was like, "Oh, there y'all go messing up the show."
How did you?
We get off topic. every time.
Mm-hmm. No, my ascendant sign is definitely a Virgo.
Mine is too.
See, See, like I said, that's what I just said. That explains
That's
it
why I
earlier.
was like, listen, they texted. I told Lena, I said they texting their questions on Thursday. I need the questions early. I need to get a format.
I'm definitely a procrastinator, but you know, this is our first time, so it's good to see how they
Definitely your first house.
What's that?
We can dissect. That's a whole nother episode.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't hear what she said.
Kendall's rising, and I'm gonna get Jerome's rising because we're gonna have him on the episode that's gonna go totally left, right?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yep.
I like going left.
But listen, hey, if y'all have nothing else to add, man, I'm gonna go ahead and put a button on this.
Just want to say great conversation, and I was appreciate y'all for joining. Coming on here and speaking with us. And we'll definitely come on your show as well. We would love to be on it.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, and
I had a great time. What about you?
It was fun.
That's good. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. And listeners, if y'all would like, y'all gonna do this shit, cause hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, share this podcast. We also got merch. It's in the description of this podcast
website. Yep.
All that's down there in the bottom in the description. If y'all would like to support, become a monthly supporter of this podcast, go ahead and hit that button as well. And we will see y'all next week, if not sooner, with another episode of Unlimited. We might come see y'all sooner because we got a lot to talk about. It's been a crazy week in the media. So but like I said, we will see y'all next week with another episode of Unlimited Podcast. Peace.
Drink, be clear.